Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, you're welcome. My name is Anita Fon, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified each and every time I upload new tutorials on my channel. If you're a member, you're welcome back. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you on how to draft this backless dress I saw on Pinterest and as well as saw on Instagram. And in my next tutorial, we're going to be sewing this together. So if you want to know how I did this, keep on watching. First thing I'm going to do is I will take my soldier measurement divided by 2. Mine is 14. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7 inch. Then I'm going to go down by 1 inch for my soldier slant. The next thing I'm going to do is I will measure from that 1 inch all the way to 7, which is my armhole deep. That's 14. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7. Then I'm going to connect that like so in the form of a square. And here like this. Next thing now I'm going to do is I'll go ahead to put my neck deep and my neck width of 3 by 3 inch. Connect it like this. Then I'll go ahead now to connect the soldier slant line like so. After doing so, I will measure whatever I have from here, but before I do so, I'll go ahead to connect it a little bit. That's a straight line here. Extend the line. Then now I will measure whatever I have from here to here. I'm going to divide it by 2, which is 7. 7 divided by 2 will give me 3.5. I'll mark. Then I'm going to go in by 3/4 inch. After doing so, I'll go ahead to connect. Next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure from my soldier to my nipple point, which is 10 inch. From my soldier to the length of the top, which I'm going to go with 15 inch. Then I will add 1 inch, 2 inch for the allowance. Then I'll go ahead to connect it with the straight lines like so. And the next thing I will do now is to go ahead to measure from my soldier to my under bust. This is not necessary, but I will just go ahead to do so here, right? Then now the next thing I'm going to do after connecting that line, I'll go ahead to put in my nipple to nipple measurement, which mine is 7 inch. 7 divided by 2 will give me 3.5, but I'll add ½ inch for the joining of the tag. I'm going to do the same thing here as well. I'll go ahead to connect that with a straight line. I'll go ahead to create my dark of 3/4 inch here and 1 inch here. The next thing I will do now is to come to my nipple point. I'm going to go down by 1 inch. Then now I will go ahead to connect this from here to here and from here to here. Before I go ahead and do so, I will mark 1 inch here and 3/4 inch, okay? Connect it with your French curve. After doing so, what I'm going to do now is I'll come here and write the chest, the nipple point line, and the under bust, and of course the length of the top. I'm going to go down by 6.5 inch. That's how deep I want it to be. Then I will measure 5 inch inward, okay? I'll connect it with a straight line all the way to this 5 inch. Then I will take my French curve. I'm going to place it like so. I'll connect it all the way to that 5 inch like so. After doing so, what I will do now is I'll go ahead to connect the center line straight. Now I'll be creating my dark here. I will go ahead to create my dark of 1 inch here, 1 inch here, and ½ inch here. Then I will connect. After connecting it, the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to be adding 1/4 of my waist measurement, which is 28. 28 divided by 4 will give me 7. Then I'll replace back the dark allowance, and I'm going to add my 3/4 inch of allowance. I'll do the same thing to my under bust, which mine is 30. 30 divided by 4 will give me 7.5. Then I'll add back the dark allowance and as well my allowance. I'll do the same thing to my bust, which mine is 34. 34 divided by 4 will give me 8.5. I'm going to replace back this dark allowance I took. Then I'm going to add my 3/4 inch of allowance. I'll go ahead to connect it like this. After doing so, the next thing I will do now is to go ahead now. I'm going to reconnect this. That's to curve it really well, so it should not be sharp, to blend it up, okay? Then now I'll go ahead to add my allowance. Since I do not add it here at this top part, I'm going to add 3/4 inch of allowance. After marking, I'm going to connect that up, okay? When I'm done connecting that up, I'm going to go ahead to connect the back piece, okay, like this. That's straight lines. Then I will separate it from the front piece. Then I'm going to measure whatever I have, which is 10.25. That's 10.025. I'll divide it by 2 to look for the center line. Then I'll go ahead to connect it again with a straight line. After doing so, I'll put 1/4 of my under bust measurement, which is 7.5. I'll put 1/4 of my waist measurement, which is 7 inch. I'll put 1/4 of my bust measurement, like we did for the front. Then I'm going to go ahead to connect it. And now after doing so, what I'm going to do now is I will come here. I'm going to measure 3 inch downward. I will mark. Then I'm going to do the same thing here, 3 inch upward. I will mark. After marking, I will connect it with a straight line like this. After doing so, what I'm going to do is after connecting it, I'll go ahead to cut that up. I will write the back, I will write the front, then I'll cut that up. After cutting it, I will number them up. So this is what we have after cutting it. So I will just go ahead. That is what I'm going to be using to cut my fabric. For the downer part, since it's a gather skirt, what we're going to do is we'll take the round waist, which is 28. Mine is 28, and I'm going to multiply that by 3. If I multiply 28 by 3, it will give me 84. Then 84, I'm going to be adding 2 inch for the allowance. I will have 86. Then this 86, what I'm going to do is I will divide it by 2. 86 divided by 2 will give me 43. 43, which means the front piece is going to be 43, the back piece is 43, right? So now just go ahead to place this on my fabric. Fold your fabric right side facing each other, and I'm going to cut. I'm cutting it on this tutorial, but in my next tutorial we're going to be sewing it. Then I'll be adding the sewing allowance here, since I did not add it on the pattern when I was drafting it. So as you can see, I have the piece here. This is the top, and here are my 2 straps that I cut off 1 inch by 120 long. This is the elastic band. So you measure your elastic, whatever you have, you're going to cut the band times 2. and my two-piece. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next project. Bye bye.